Horns up and welcome to Meet India, my series where I take you on a culinary journey across the many states of India, showcasing the best meat and seafood this country has to offer. And today we're still in the state of Kerala, because how could I cook up some Kerala food and not make a beef dish? And for this dish we are going to the Malabar region, and the dish we're making is called Erachi Choru, which is a meat and rice dish. That's literally what it translates to. Erachi is meat and chora is rice, and of course we're making ours with beef. Erachi chora is a wholesome one-pot dish. It's made by first cooking up a delicious beef curry, and then we use a special short grain rice called Jeera samba, which is cooked with the curry to give you this amazing dish. It's a humble dish that's packed full of flavor. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's get cooking. We start by taking equal parts of ginger, garlic and green chilies and then blending them in the blender to make a paste. If you have trouble blending it, you can add a bit of water, or you can even use a mortar and pestle. Once our paste is ready, on to the next step. To make this dish, I heat up a tablespoon of coconut oil and a tablespoon of ghee in my pressure cooker, which is what I will be using to make this. Then in go my whole spices, cinnamon stick, cardamom, cloves, bay leaf, Shahi Jeera, which is not the same as regular cumin, and fennel seeds. Then in goes about 150 grams of sliced red onions. And now we saute those onions. I want to cook them down a bit. I also season them with some salt. We want to build layers of flavor as we go. Once the onions are nicely softened, in goes our ginger and garlic and chili paste. Saute that well for a minute before adding in curry leaves. Give it a good mix before adding in our chopped tomatoes along with some Kashmiri red chili powder, turmeric powder and coriander powder. And now we cook out those spices. Once everything is cooked down a bit, it's time to add our beef, and I'm using boneless beef shank cut into bite-sized pieces. You can also use a curry cut of beef or any slow cooking cut. You can also make this with mutton, lamb or pork. In goes the meat along with some salt, and then we saute. Add in some water, give it all a good mix, also some coriander, and now we're going to pressure cook this for about 30 minutes or till the beef is nice and tender. I usually use my instant pot to cook beef shanks. You can click on the I button for that video. Now for this recipe we're using a special rice called Jeera samba or kaima rice. It's a tiny grain of rice, and I believe it gets the name because it resembles cumin seeds. Now if you can't find this where you live, read the blog post on Headbanger's Kitchen for alternatives. Anyway, we're just gonna soak about 2 cups of this rice in water while the beef is cooking. After about 30 minutes or 12 to 15 whistles of the pressure cooker, I open it up and our beef is cooked and it is nice and tender. Now I take out the beef using a spider, as we want to separate the liquid from the meat. And now I pour out the liquid into my Pyrex jug so I can measure out just how much we have, because we need an exact amount of liquid to cook the rice. I heat up some ghee in my Dutch oven because this looks better on camera, but you can do this in the pressure cooker in which you cook the beef. I add in about 50 grams of sliced onions, and now I fry these till they are nice and brown. Then in goes the beef, and I give it a quick saute before adding in 3 cups of liquid, which includes the curry and water. Season that with salt. Add in the soaked rice which has now been drained, and some coriander, and give it all a good mix. I will bring this to the boil before covering it, turning the heat down to low and cooking for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes the liquid has all dried up, and now you just cover it and let it sit for another 5 minutes to steam. Then I open it up, I squeeze the juice of half a lime over the rice, and then I fork up that rice. I fork it up real good. And our Erachi Choru is done and ready. And now you just serve yourself some of that and you're good to go. Of course I gotta show you how tender that meat is. It just falls apart. And as always, I gotta get a bite of that meat and that rice, and it's so good. But time for the official taste test. Alright folks, it's time to taste the Erachi Choru, which is a meat rice dish from Kerala.
Wow.
Erachi means meat and Choru means rice.
And I can see Kadi Patta. This is definitely Kerala.
Yes. So just dig in.
Yeah. Beef is just coming apart and succulent. And considering that it's not a biryani, just the rice and the beef and the Kadi Patta, there is so much flavor in this thing. You don't need anything. You don't need a pickle. You don't need a raita. You don't need anything with it. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's delicious. It's meaty. It's fragrant. It's even got a little bit of spice from those chilies that we used with the seeds and the membrane.
Meaty it is, I'll tell you that. And it's just breaking with a spoon. Don't even need a fork or a knife.
Yeah, honestly, it's a perfect one-pot meal. So does this get the horns up from you?
Really hot. I'm impatient, hungry and tasty. Yeah, horns up, everything. All up.
All right, I guess my dad has given this the seal of approval, and I'm quite enjoying this as well. And I hope you guys are going to make this dish at home and let me know how it turns out. And I will see you on the next episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. Until then, cheers and keep cooking.
Keep eating.
Yes, he will eat, I will cook. After our little visit to Kerala, we'll be going to the state of Tamil Nadu. So let me know your favorite meat and seafood dishes from there. And a big thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon and on the YouTube channel memberships. You are all awesome.